She has some engagements with her teaching the university, but she wrote to me. Oh, she has joined today. So I was. Oh, you joined today, Brandy. Yes, are we attentive? Or your mind is still engaged in some other activity? Let us, today we will have our last session once you realize it. That is why I demand your awareness and attention. Real self alone is, our consciousness alone is. Why don't we reflect here and now? Here and now. Because mind is habituated to project itself in the world, and then we become an individual. We start living in ignorance. Individual means that, name and the form. We try to find that eternal in the world outside, not possible. When I want to find the real self in the world, of name in the form, which is constantly changing, and I'm searching for something that is uncreated, which is the real self. Because my mind goes back again and again to the world of the name and the form, situation, relationship, perception. So the mind is impure. We need 40 steps to reach to that state. But I just promise that today we will have our last session if you understand it. Let me make it simple. Pay attention. Let me make it simple. I'm speaking, so I'm conscious of speaking. That is why there is a consciousness here. Do you agree, Stephen? You have to understand an agreement. Understanding is very important. You are listening because you are conscious. Clear? So the consciousness is there also. Am I clear? I am here as an individual with the body and mind. There you are with the body and the mind, but the consciousness is all pervading, and that is what our real self is. I just wanted the Danish group should evolve faster, so I discussed this example there also. Take another example. I say, with reference to the body, that I am born in India. Clear? Stephen is born in US. Dennis is born in UK. But very consciousness where it is born. It manifested through the body and the mind. Consciousness is all pervading. So when I realize and experience that there is one entity, uncreated, all pervading, class is done. Finished. Finished? Yes, Terry is right. Our intellect associates instantly with what is created, what is changing. And that intellect or the mind is full of the impurities and ignorance and projection. So we have to get rid of this ignorance, projection, and the impurity. That is why this master says 40 steps are necessary. So if you have realized, you are conscious, you are constantly experiencing that you are the real self, class is done. Then you joy, then you join this session just for a joy. You don't join the session because you have yet to realize. At least I would make out that intellectually you understand. Yes, intellectually we understand, then we can continue to have. That is the beauty of teachings of these great masters, the genius, the wisdom that they have. The moment I am talking, consciousness, the moment you are listening, consciousness, and then the mind says, oh, intellect says, I have to talk about this topic. Mind has one deviation. Oh, everyone is listening, second deviation. Oh, I have to look at the time also. It should start in the time and the finish at the time, another deviation. And the mind is not able to keep its maintain its awareness on the real self, and we are lost. That is why we have these 40 steps. Mind or intellect or memory or I-ness, whatever you say. So that is why the master says every day in the morning, Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Last line, you see that we should not have envy and jealousy against each other. Whenever we have envy and the jealousy, the mind is divided into many fold. And any division of the mind is the impurity. We are not talking of ethical and moral discipline that we should not have jealousy. There is a reason behind it. So once we understand, so it does not mean that you should not have a jealousy or envy here. You should not have envy or jealousy anywhere in the world. Otherwise, the mind will become impure when you are in the world. Think. We have to contemplate and think. Four connections. Four connection is very important. So that is explained by our masters as a four connections. Where is the first to connect? It is the preparatory phase. We should have Mangalacharan and then us creating an auspiciousness, then relaxing and calmness of the mind. And then we say, okay, do you know what is real and the false? We should develop a power of discernment using that intellect. So that is what the preparation phase is. If I am not a seeker, the journey is just a waste. It will have an intellectual understanding, and then you will, in the end, you will say, oh, where is the real self? That is what I have been talking since the day one. So, a seeker, a nuclear scientist, knows in detail about the atom bomb. But I should have a preparedness, I should be ready and have such competency to explain and to understand. Same thing applies here. Second is the subject matter. What is exactly the object of knowledge? What I am searching? I'm searching the real self. So, can I maintain awareness that whatever the word of name in the form anxiety, duality, conflict, etc., etc., I cannot find the real self there? Object of knowledge is the real self that is uncreated. Result, twofold result: end of suffering and awakening. Now, these are the three topics. Three, we have to connect all the dots. I'm talking to you. Can I have a simultaneous awareness of that consciousness which is independent while continue to talking and speak? If I have that simultaneous awareness, then that I has twofold. One is the false I with reference to the body, mind, intellect, and the other I is the real I. Without the real I, the false I cannot exist. Am I talking very advanced topics? No, we need to understand that. So, in order to reach to that state of experience and realization, we should have to follow these 40 steps. So, I'm covering, you know what I'm covering? I've been covering, I told you the one summary is the 5E, engagement. Am I engaging the mind in a right direction or in a wrong direction? Jealousy, hatred, duality, and a conflict. No, I'm engaging the mind. This is the principle, and this is the false self. This is the real self. Engaging the mind. I'm living into that awareness during the day also. So when I'm living into that awareness, you have no anxiety and duality and a conflict at all. It calms down. Second is now I have learned this. I have to educate this mind by guided practice, by listening and learning the principles. So when I'm educating, I have to look at the progress am I making. My anxiety has gone down. My level of sorrow and the happiness, I remain indifferent. Internal joy is there. Calmness is there. I have a natural focus. Natural focus. Whatever I'm doing, I focus on that. That is going to help you in your professional and personal life also. And the empowered. So what you're doing, you're empowering the mind now. We already understand in the modern language what is empower. I'm empowering the mind. So empowering with the mind, with those qualities, with those traits, which is going to help me to evolve. Where is evolution? I explained you in a horizontal and a vertical consciousness. That vertical rise in consciousness is evolution. Is evolution. And once mind is saturated with that point of evolution, it results into enlightenment, and that is what the awakening is. I'm just trying to put it into the modern way. But then again, I connected it to the traditional way, the seeker, 5S. Don't forget, you have to contemplate and reflect. Who is a seeker? Who possesses the four types of intellect, four powers, which results into 5 set of changes in our day-to-day life. See the simplest example how this intellect and the mind causes the problem. A person X, I say crazy, that guy is a crazy. From where it has come? From this mind. My mind understands the craziness. I label it to someone else. Where I'm labeling, am I labeling to the consciousness or am I labeling to the body and the mind complex? It is the body mind complex I'm labeling. Oh, so I'm treating the false as a real. So as long as I treat the false as a real, I will continue to have anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict. I cannot get rid of it. Seeker. Seeker. So the seeker is well settled. He doesn't. Oh, so I should not be angry. Yes, you play anger. Somebody is not listening. You raise your voice, but internally you are calm. Everything can be used. So that is the seeker. And then the sadhana means the practices. Another word is the sadhana. So what practices? This is the practice you are doing. Your listening, learning is also a practice. Contemplation, reflection is also a practice. When you reflect and you move into that awareness, that is also a practice. Plus the meditation that we have been doing. Then sadhya. Sadhya means the object of knowledge, that is the real self. My mind is 100% fully aware that the morning I wake up, I sleep, I dream, I do my professional activities. That real self is different, separate from all these activities, thought, speech, and action. I should have that awareness. Then only I can start the search. I'm looking for that. I give you an example, simple example. I'm speaking. Repeat it again. I'm speaking, how I'm speaking. I'm conscious, that is why I'm speaking. If I'm conscious, so there is a consciousness. Is it not true? You are listening. You are conscious, that is why you are listening. Can you listen to in dream or sleep? You cannot. So you are listening because you are conscious. So the consciousness is there also. The consciousness is here, consciousness is there also. Can I see that with clarity? Can I experience beyond the word of the name and the form, beyond the labels of a teacher and the seeker? I'm already realized. All the classes are done today. Those who have realized, they may join, they may not join. That is the sadhya, the object of knowledge, plus siddha. Siddha means the perfection has reached. Perfection means the awakening has reached. Then what happens? Your entire perspective towards the world changes completely. You did not change the world, but your perspective, perception of the world, of the relations have changed completely. That is the fifth S, is known as the sadhu. Literally, it means the monk. You become a monk inside. You need not to wear those, orange colored robes and put lot of red or yellow color, and you need not to have lot of beard, etc., etc. So the master says, sadhu, you are a sadhu. That is covered in our 40 steps in a totally different way. It is purely in an instructional style. It does not, because he has written these 5 verses, 40 steps, hardly it can be written in 2 pages of A4 size, but he has compressed, summarized from more than 3,000 texts. He says, no, just do this. This is an instruction. This is an order. Because why? Because you are a seeker. You will grasp it, you will accept it, you will understand. Yes, you can, if you have a doubt, you can raise the question. So, in the last couple of weeks, I have been asking you, did you practice japa in the, and are you practicing the japa every day? I just want to change the frame of your mind. Are you doing the practice to take you to the another level of being a seeker? Then we can follow these instructions. Huh? I told you I'm laying a strong foundation. Are you practicing? Are you listening? After listening, I talked about the work model. Do you remember work model? Oh, did I practice? Did I listen to it? Yes. Did I reflect on it? Yes. Did I remember the main masses of these principles? I'm into anxiety. How can you have an anxiety with the 4 types of intellect? Tell me. How can you have it? How can you react? How can you be angry? How can you be upset? How can you claim that, I'm suffering? You have 4 types of intellect and you have 4 powers of intellect. Tell me. You don't understand. I have a knee pain for the last 10 years, but you are not suffering. You are taking care of it. Suffering is not there. Suffering is different from the pain. Uh, I believe you're getting it. That level of a seeker will follow these 40 steps, and one after the other, it takes you to that state of, you need not to declare that you are awakened, or sun need not to declare. Sun spreads the rays, that's all. It is self-explanatory. It is self-evident. Consciousness is self-evident. The moment you declare, it is the false I which is declaring that I am awakened. Think, think, think. So simple way are you applying these principles in your daily life, you will start feeling a tremendous change in your personal, professional, social, and the family life. What you have, you don't have, you contemplate and reflect. It is the intellect which says what I have and what I don't have. I have $10 million. I don't have it. I'm giving an example. So, $10 million lying in the bank, and that I-ness says with the body mind complex that I am rich. Where are you rich? Tell me where the richness is there. Or I am poor. Just do the opposite. So, should I stop working? I never said whatever you are doing outside, continue to do it. When you apply these principles, find the improvement in there. You are excelling in what you do. You have enough time because now the mind does not live in that impurity and a projection. You have more time to contemplate, reflect. You have more time for creativity. Awakening, realization goes side by side, simultaneously with whatever you are doing, the way you are living. It has nothing to leave anything in the world, but it makes you more aware, it makes you more relaxed, It helps you to more organized. If it is not happening, what should I say? So Sadhana Panchkam, 5 verses, 40 steps, complete masses, complete teaching. Unique feature, it is instructional, direct teaching. Oh, just do this. So when we learn from the first step, you have to listen that instruction based on the preparation, the strong foundation that we have already built. If you forget that strong foundation, then your ego will pop up. Why you are saying this instruction? Then it will not work. Then you will complain, I have been doing this for so many years and no change has taken place. You are to blame. So you see that it covers, another beautiful point is that it covers the instruction of all ages, all profession, whatever the stage of life you are in, you can start. That is the beauty. Can you think of summarizing and compressing these 40 set of instructions from 3000 texts? It covers almost everything. You will recognize, oh, this is not only for me at my age, but this can also be applied for younger or the older. So, life of education, learning about life is covered in this. Life of relationship, of family, society, profession. You get a different perspective how to relate yourself. Why? Because the intellect now has a right knowledge. It does not live in delusion. I love you, you don't love me. It is delusion. Are you understanding? I love you and you don't love me. Or you hate me and I love you. And so you are doing a favor to me. No, you're not doing a favor. You are crazy. So you totally get a different perspective. You don't push anyone. See that, I've been doing so much for you and you are not doing anything. You have a different perspective of life. Now, see, you're wasting your time in pushing someone, but now you're a seeker, you remain calm. Okay, that is his or her destiny, unless I may say, so I said it, he or she doesn't agree, even close near to me. So you are relaxed, you are calm. You don't take it that I guided you and you don't listen. I'm just giving an example. That is what the leadership quality is in corporate. I'm not going there, otherwise, it will be a deviation. So, the second, you see the perspective what should I think and speak and act? Then, once you are clear, now relational level, life of live education, you're both clear from that level. Then what happens? Throughout the day, your mind is free. Where the mind should go, life of solitude, of meditation, of reflection. You cannot say you don't have enough time. You have only time to contemplate and reflect. That is the nature of meditation and mindfulness. Just by understanding, now you are living into that state of meditation. Life of that is what is in Eastern wisdom, traditional wisdom, we say it is a life of solitude, or life of self-absorption, or life of meditation. Did you recognize the last step, last stage of meditation in these sessions? I say self-absorption. You see how I'm covering the entire, I'm giving you the practice before I cover these principles. And then you can say the last step is the life of ultimate meditation, means the awakening, means now you recognize consciousness is everywhere. At the same time, I also recognize that I'm giving a lesson. I also recognize the level of a teacher, level of a student or a seeker. I also recognize all the genders, age group, etc., etc. But behind that, there is only one consciousness which is also present. So, do you need to practice meditation? No, you are already there. Is it an experience? Answer is big yes. It is an experience, it is an awareness. I'm using experience in a different word, different way. So you see that that is the journey of this entire Eastern wisdom. That is why we say what is the goal of Eastern wisdom? Self-discovery. What is self-discovery? The self is different from what I think it is. So what I think it is the false I. Oh, so what is that real self? It is uncreated. You have already seen it is uncreated. Or can you say that I created consciousness, then I become conscious, then I listen to you, now I'm ready to respond to you. It is a sheer foolishness. Consciousness is ever existent. Do you see that point? That is the journey of our self discovery. So it means, oh, I have to get rid of lot of the false identities I have created. And because of the false identities, it is causing the suffering. So the master says two goals of the Eastern wisdom: bring an end to the suffering and realization. You see how genius. I'm not, because I'm teaching from the teachers of those teachers. Look at it. That is the beauty. Close your eyes. The stage one. Eyes are closed. Find out the place. Find out the place where you are sitting. So reference point is the body is sitting. Who is listening? An individual. Body-mind complex. Are you aware of that? That subtle awareness takes you to the real self, even in the very first step. So, yes, awareness of the space all around the body, and then the posture. Did you close your eyes gently, or you are still struggling? You are squeezing your eyes. You see, those are the impurities, projection, and the ignorance. It causes a lot of challenges. Oh, no, no, I'm okay. Do you have a smile on your face? You're entering into the journey of the joy. Oh, the posture. No, I have to look into the posture also. There is no discomfort, unease in any part of the body. That discomfort, unease is not experienced by the body but by experienced by the mind, because mind has that content of craziness. So, am I aware of the entire body? Yes, it is okay. Gradually, you will discover that lot of unease as you move deeper. That is why I'm trying to explain it. And the position, posture is done. Are you comfortable? Comfortable. That consciousness is always comfortable. So you get a, what could I say that? You get a feel of that consciousness with reference to it. You see the body and the mind, it is comfortable. But with reference to the I-ness, yes, it is also comfortable, but the I-ness changes. And then being carefree. What is created, what comes and goes, what takes the birth and the dies, including the thought, feeling, and emotions, I am not. So being carefree. Yes, in that state of being carefree, in the same state, I say, awaken to the third eye or third perception or a different perception. The way we have been perceiving the world, relationship, family, personal, professional, social life, etc., etc., I want to change that perception. So you look at the world outside, you look at the world outside. So that world of name and the form, time and the space, objects and the people, that is how I define myself. I define myself without examining. Are you getting it? So that is why, oh, let us see the world as it is. People, places, objects, time, is, belongs to the world. Okay, then let me look at the body. Oh, another layer. Physical body. Physical body is comfortable and carefree, kind of steadiness is there. Oh, this is first layer or second layer. Second neighbor. You can say, oh, it's a neighbor. First neighbor, the world. Second neighbor is the body. Third neighbor, physical body, first, second. And the third neighbor is the breath. Breath is manifestation of life, and life is all pervading. Because the life exists, that is why we manifest. We manifest as a human being, others manifest as an ant or insect or tiger or snake, whatever it is. Bacteria and the virus where the life is. And what is the neighbor, fourth neighbor? Oh, fourth neighbor is the mind, the crazy mind. Once I recognize it as a neighbor, can you equate, can you say that neighbor is me? Answer is no. What is the fifth neighbor? I-ness and the intellect. What is the sixth neighbor? It is the ignorance, or we say the causal body. Cause of both. So is it a horizontal movement? Yes. So once we live into that awareness, then this Mangala Charan will work like anything. It gives you a deeper insight. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. What is that? Means let everyone be happy. So now you get the vision. You get the vision. Get the vision beyond all the six neighbors I just told you. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all, including me, and that me is beyond these five, six neighbors. I am that. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. A lot of crazy stuff on the Google, wholeness, holiness, Holy Spirit, etc. So we see with the reference to our perception. Am I searching anything, running after anything in the world? I'm incomplete in myself, caused by the mind, causal body. I'm living in ignorance, making an unnecessary effort to become whole through the body, exhaustion, stress, and suffering. Perception that real self is whole. Why you are searching? Should I stop earning money? I'm not saying that. Lot of doubt is there. Should I eat? Stop eating? Crazy stuff. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness. So what happens? That real self oozing out peace and happiness and the wholeness. What is your perception? I'm in the state of auspiciousness. But I told you because of those impurities, ignorance, and the projection is millions and trillions of impressions are there. There is the doubt, causes ignorance, projection, and the impurity again. And that is why the second stage is looking deep inside. So I added the pranayama, the pratyahara, the japa, and the part of the meditation. So looking inside the forehead in the space, Om Shanti, gently you are doing it. You are doing it out of love. We have just concluded Mangalacharan. You are not in a hurry. Why I am saying that those people who are in a hurry, they will recognize, oh, it is the impurity of the mind is causing the trouble. Only the knowledge and understanding is required. So, okay. Shanti, body is in the state of the stillness. Yes, it is already in the state of the stillness. We have done in the stage 1. And then let us start breathing into the belly. Start breathing from the belly long and little longer breath. You inhale, the belly goes out. You exhale, the belly goes in. Who notices? Consciousness is behind. Mind notices, but how the mind can notice? Because of the consciousness. Continue with the Om Shanti deep inside the forehead. Keep the body in the state of the stillness and continue breathing into your belly, please. So you already know it, or I remind you again, resistance is there. Let your intellect say, no, I will continue to do it. Before the mind takes another action and it stops, it changes the rate and the rhythm of the breath. No. Intellect says, I will do it. I will have a power of endurance. So from the power of endurance, you move to the joy of doing it. That joy of doing is satoguna. You are doing something like breathing, you are maintaining the stillness, you are doing the japa, but it is happening in the satoguna. What is the goal of the second stage? To move the mind into the satoguna. See, that is why we have to study these gunas and these principles. Continue breathing, continue japa, continue stillness, and continue. The mind jumps into the future. Oh, he's not speaking. What I have to do next? That is also the impurity. Naturally steady mind. So when you recognize it, it's a good thing to do. Recognition is perception. So we can move ahead. Do you remember you are still breathing into your belly? Japa continues. Japa continues. Now leave this breathing, allow the breath to be normal. Watch, be aware how the breath moves into the normal breathing pattern. Check the flow of the breath. Are we moving into the pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses? Answer is yes. Your intellect knows everything, whatever you are doing it. What that means, your understanding, your perception is clear. You're just aware of the flow of the breath, and also check if the mind is really engaged in maintaining an awareness of the flow of the breath. What it means? Naturally, mind is naturally steady. Or you can give a different term. Beautiful. So we have a natural experience now. On the skin, you have sensation, relaxation, and stillness. And inside the body, again inside the body, we are not looking into the organs of the body, we are looking into the sensation as a state of the calmness. Recognize the thoughts are near, they come and go, you recognize them, but they are not disturbing you. And the quietness, oh, those feelings, some sensation of the thoughts are there, but it's too far to disturb you. We need in this state clearly in order to go deeper. I believe you are getting it. So today we are skipping the nyasa. Let us move to the stage 3. 16 segments. Om Shanti. You drop the Om Shanti on the 16 segments of a finger, and I told you that your Om Shanti saying may be like a tamoguna. You say Om and you forget. Your mind goes to another thought. No issue. Because I'm addressing you so you can listen to me and move to the Rajoguna. So in Rajoguna we have Rajoguna plus Satoguna. Om Shanti. Mind continuously, regularly says, and it points to the segment Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. And when this Rajoguna decreases, Satoguna increases, so you have Om Shanti. You feel a tremendous sensation on the segment, and even in 10 minutes, you cannot complete those 16 segments. But we don't do it deliberately. Whatever the attitude and the state of the mind is at present, follow that. It will happen on its own. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om, and then and now, moving the mind inside the cave of your heart, visualize triangle of any color. Why I said is to engage your mind, to educate the mind. You see, all we will delete as we progress, and then drop Om Shanti on each side of a triangle. Find, is the mind sinking? If the mind sinks, so the mantra side of a triangle, movement of the mind is sinking. That is the right moment you sing mentally Om, pushing the mind deep inside the cave of your hard mind seemingly stops. You drop Shanti, and after that self-absorption, whether it is a space or a sky or emptiness, all are okay. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences now. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for the lesson and the meditation today. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Getting weird feedback. Um, so my meditation was good. I did have a little resistance with the breathing, but it was it was interesting because at the same time it was still really deep. So I linked that to the lesson with the idea of perception. You know, I was like, so you're perceiving two things at the same time. You're perceiving a really deep meditation and also struggle. So what is it, right? And it didn't really matter ultimately.
Yes.
I have to think about it. I have
That's
to contemplate.
that is a beautiful perception. So you see that we have what the word that is constantly changing, that is one part of the perception, and another part of the perception is unchanging. And that helps a mind to move to that state of you lost connection. No, I want to do this. Why it is happening? Why it is happening? The connection I couldn't see. We are joined again. Thank you. Suddenly there was something internet connection.
You're muted, Girish.
Yes. You don't hear me. Okay, yes. Now it is okay. We return back again. So that's a beautiful perception. How are you, Stephen?
Sorry, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a very busy week of contemplating or reflecting. Um, as you're aware, I missed last week and spent a lot of time catching up to get to Monday. And there were several things from the past that were said that was more so not about the lesson, because I'm getting the lessons, I'm understanding all of that, but the impact that everyone on this call makes during their sharing, and it's during the listening or re-listening of the tapes that it's more, I find it to be more impactful. And this week really was driven by Christina, because she made mention on Monday about withdrawing socially as you're taking this journey. And I've always felt that in the 4 years of that we've been doing this, and understanding that. And then something that I think Dennis said back last week about negating things. And I started bringing it all together in my contemplation and reflection this week, which has been an enormous amount, and the importance of the japa. And what I'm starting to understand and realize is that I get the internal and the real self, and I think that we've all seen what that real self is. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. And I think I'm seeing it more and more, and a lot of it has been because of me trying to look outside and try to understand that I can't get rid of the people around me. I can't go into a monastery and close myself off and do all of that. So I have to learn how to, for lack of a better term, tolerate the stuff that goes on outside. And it's become really, really clear between negation and the social aspects and whatever it is, that the world is suffering. And I can't help them, And I can't do anything about that because it's all driven by ignorance and it's driven by ego. And what I can control is my ignorance and ego. And Girish, in the last lesson, you said something that has stayed with me. And I'll finish with this, is that do we drive the car or does the car drive us? And in what I've turned, then your statement was, do we drive the mind or do we let the mind drive us? And it's been this easier on-off switch with all of what I've just talked about to get to a point to where I can recognize the peace and happiness. And I can't control peace and happiness in other people, but I can control peace and happiness within me, and everything that comes out of me comes with peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. So,
Beautiful.
thank you.
Beautiful, Stephen. You look, that is how a seeker works. You listen to the experiences of others and you make it your own through the contemplation and reflection. That is very important, especially in a group session. Even in the monastery, there were 100 students of a single master, and they have a different sharing of their experiences. It is the process of contemplation and reflection. Sometimes mind takes it a different way. So we should not take it different way. So what you are saying, negation, so here we have to use the word negation as a positive state of the mind. You have to add the negation with what Brandy was saying, that here is a resistance, one perception, and here is a meditative state, it is another perception. So the mind is moving to the meditative state, not to the distraction. This is what we say the negation aspect is. So negation is nothing to resist. Many people tell me, oh, negation, so it means I will become indifferent and aloof. No, you are full of joy because you found something more deeper, more richer than what you are negating. So when Stephen was talking, so I got this idea to make you clear. Very beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Stephen. And how are you, Dennis?
Thank you. My meditation was comfortable and seamless. There was some resistance from the mind. I recognized it in the end, but I also recognized that it is separate from me and not affecting me. Thank you.
Good. Good. The more that is another word for negation. It is separate from me. It is not me. Finished. That is another way to perceive it. Beautiful. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. Today is different from the pain, and I know you've said it in many other ways, but today, like a light bulb went on for me, and I have a true understanding of it, I think.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes, this is what happens by constant listening and learning. One day it strikes, which I might have told you years ago. So, because you are constantly contemplating and reflecting, and the pain is definitely different from suffering. Suffering is purely deeply attached to our mind. I hate someone and I'm suffering, but in that hatred there is no pain. So the pain and the suffering are definitely separate. So that is why we always say the twofold goal, we bring an end to the suffering. What the body is subjected to undergo, it will go. Old age, difficult walking, etc., it will happen. So, but suffering is not there, whether you are walking slowly or you are jumping. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I noticed a lot of anxiety over the past 2 weeks, and so I practiced more and listened more than I have. And with today's lesson, something seemed to break free, and the idea of dropping false identities. And I think I was not realizing
Yes.
that piece for the past 2 weeks. And I even got the sense that I can operate in my life from no identity and could just feel a sense of calmness with that
Yes.
thought.
Beautiful, Christina. Your admission is also praiseworthy that for the last 2 weeks you have an anxiety. So what happens? We are absorbed into the meditative state, but those past impressions, trillions of impressions are there. They backfire sometimes. They return with a greater force. And you have taken it positively. Yes, I have to listen to it again. I have to contemplate and reflect. And today you have a realization I have not to go into the false identity. False identity. Even I have two kids. One kid says, no, I have to do this. Do this. Why should I do this? This is your life. Where is the problem? And the problem is that you don't listen to me. I'm your dad. Forget about dad is also a false identity, for example. Do you see that dad is also a false identity? No, it means no, you are not living a social and family life. Oh, so those who are living social and family life, are they happy? Ask Vaibhav. Yes, Vaibhav. No, Vaibhav, dad is also my student, so that's why I'm saying.
Thank you, sir. So, practice was peaceful, it was quiet. It's like that learning a way to live with an open mind and not to limit myself with my experiences
Yeah.
and see what is beyond that. So, it was very calm.
Yes, it's beautiful. So, as a son, you deal your dad as a seeker. Problem is no, there is no problem. How simple it is. But if I treat any of my relationship with what the society says, I'm bound to suffer, and that is the cause of anxiety, Christian. So you realize that it is a false identity. I have to drop it. How are you, Terry?
Uh, I was I was thinking about making the experience, we listen and we do, but I was trying to realize that you have to make it your own, that you're the one doing it.
Yes.
In other words, if I'm meditating, I'm the one that's meditating.
Yes.
And then I can come more closer to the experience.
Definitely. That is another beauty. So that is why we share the experiences, and we should accept the experiences of others. Oh, this guy is experiencing in this way, the way that Stephen was summarizing. It always gives you a new perspective. So I got initiated by one teacher, but it doesn't mean that I should not listen to the others. Let me have his perspective. Let me have her perspective. Oh, that gives me a whole perspective. How are you, Sangeeta? अरे तुम दोनों को दीपक भेजेगा तो वो सब्सक्राइब करना. हाँ.
ठीक है सर. प्रैक्टिस बहुत अच्छी थी, एकदम शांत. सर पहले गुस्सा जैसे आता था तो थोड़े टाइम तक 1-2 घंटे तक रहता था. अब कुछ होती है बात तो साथ ही साथ खत्म हो जाता है. तो ये चेंज.
Yes, here you go. What she is saying that whenever she used to be angry in the past, that the impact of the anger continues, lasting for hours. But now it is only for a few minutes. That's an improvement. That's a change. So I can swiftly move from the false identity to the real identity, and the problem is gone. We're not talking of anger management in modern psychological techniques. Christina, we are talking of Eastern wisdom. You minimize the impact of the anger by losing the false identity. Every science has some flaw. I'm not pointing, not criticizing, but that is the way it works. But Eastern wisdom looks for the absolute reality. It cannot be changed. So that is all for today, my friends. We will meet again. Thank you. So nice of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.
Thank you, sir.